Fox interested in buying WWE? Bobby Lashley reveals plans to fight Mike Tyson, and Triple H has hinted at adding Paul Heyman to WWE Creative. Stay tuned for all the deets. So, kicking things off with some news straight out the Wrestling Observer that Fox are being rumored as a potential buyer for WWE. This isn't a new rumor for anybody that's kind of been staying on top of matters. We have spoke at length before about the potential buyout by Disney or Fox
Comcast or anything.
Yeah, like NBC. There were a lot of kind of hats being thrown into that ring, but now apparently those in WWE mentioned Fox, which isn't as cash rich as the other potential buyers. But it has a great relationship with WWE, and it wanted Raw during the last round of negotiations, only to have USA meet the Fox offer. And since they had the right to match the offer, Fox got SmackDown, which USA did not match the offer for.
USA's had Raw for a long time, as long as I can remember. I think before that they were on Spike.
Yeah, it was like Spike, and then they had, what was it, TNN? And
So it's been a long time on USA, so it's not a surprise that USA wanted to keep that staple now. As you mentioned, the Fox buying WWE rumors have been around for a little while. They showed a lot of interest and got SmackDown. What would that look like, though, if they managed to buy it?
You know, I think it'd be interesting because obviously it's Raw on USA Network that's being given the green light to go to TV 14. Now, I think you'd still need to keep one of the shows TV 14 if we are trying to have one show be slightly edgier. But Fox, I think, you know, when they got SmackDown, I wasn't expecting a lot of big changes. I wasn't expecting really much. And then, we had obviously the new arena
we
and
had
everything
the new
set
set, which
up, and
they got to use for a couple months.
It looked great and stuff, but it was nothing unexpected. It was more the pretation style that changed a little bit. It was a lot more kind of streamlined. It was a lot more
cameras that they brought in.
The 8K, those beautiful, stunning cameras. But they kind of, Fox just went all out with it. And then we had the talk show. We had obviously the return of CM Punk. And we had a lot of things have spawned off this relationship. So I think that it'd be interesting for sure, but either way, I don't think it really matters who owns it anymore. They're only going to really, especially with the fact that Vince is now gone, I think, it's going to be a case of, well, they're going to buy it, but it's still going to be the same people running it. They're just going to kind of give some overall guidance of, don't say the S word, please.
Yeah, don't say any naughty words on TV. But
or say 5 of them. You've got 5 to use this week.
I think with the fact that them not being, as the report says, cash rich, as opposed to the other ones, I think they need to pay some ridiculous amount of money to Vince McMahon to get his shares to take over the company.
For sure, but I think the maybe not being as cash rich but still having the interest shows that they care about the product and they see a future for it.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point.
Potentially, it's something where they might not really have the money to do it, but if they see it as something they can grow, and I mean, it's Fox. So,
it's Fox, yeah.
They kind of know what they're doing. They've kind of been around for a little bit. I think that they'd be a really good pair of hands, because I think I'd worry about it going to Disney, because I think it'd stagnate.
Really, because I think it really boost their Disney Plus streaming service.
I think it'd be great for them,
would have that.
For sure. But they'd have to run it out on ESPN and stuff. But I think that Disney, there's just so much going on there.
They've got too much content. They own everything. It's
constantly just evolving into this bigger and bigger thing.
You don't want to see Roman Reigns versus Mickey Mouse.
If it meant that Roman Reigns was now legally a Disney princess, I'd be all over it.
Yeah. There we go. Hope that happens.
Moving on to some unfortunate news concerning Dax Harwood. This is again from the Wrestling Observer, reporting that Dax Harwood is the latest AEW wrestler working with a torn labrum. This is it's on the shoulder, but this is like the latest in a long line of injuries that AEW's been facing recently. They've really been run through the ringer on stuff like this. But apparently after the Briscoes match, which netted those very well deserved 5 stars.
It was one of the best matches of this year so far. Barn burner.
He came out of it with a swollen eye, stiff neck, and his bad shoulder was worse. So, fingers crossed it's just a case of maybe resting
just rest
up
a couple of weeks,
it's not going to be too severe, but I mean, AEW right now must be kind of...
thankfully they have
pull the collar a little bit.
They have announced that the Undisputed Elite are coming back next week, so that they're getting some stars back and losing probably the hottest act in the company right now, I would say, the FTR. This could be just a case of Harwood would maybe just appear as support for Cash.
He doesn't really have to get physical, I guess. We can have him there on the outside and get him involved, but keeping it with Ring of Honor here. The Ring of Honor World Championship match has been set for Claudio Castagnoli, his first Ring of Honor World title defense. It was revealed on last night's AEW Rampage that he's going to be facing Konosuke Takeshita on the TNT Battle of the Belts 3 special on the 6th of August.
That is going to be...
It's going to slap.
Bold
that
prediction.
match is going to slap.
Very bold prediction that match is going to be good. And I think it will be great to watch.
I thought you were about to be like, a very bold prediction that Takeshita is going to take the belt.
No, I think the match is going to be...
We're going to move into a Cinnabon era.
yeah, that would be great. I think the match, they'll have fantastic chemistry together. It looks, they're both on one hell of a run, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds for Ring of Honor, but I think this is the excitement that's been drummed up around it is more than I can say I've felt for Ring of Honor in a very long time.
Yeah, but at least 5 years for Bullet Club.
It's going to be, it's going to be an interesting process, but Takeshita, man, this is going to be
very good.
Now on to a bit of weirder news. Now, there's not really any way to break the ice on this one. So Bobby Lashley was speaking to Fightful Select recently, where he revealed that there'd been plans for him to fight the legendary Iron Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson of all people, Bobby Lashley,
the baddest man on the planet, in a not just fight, in a bare knuckle boxing match at Madison Square Garden.
It's how do you? Like, that's just mental.
I mean, Lashley claims the deal between them was more in the feeling out process, and that he would love to do it. I'm sure he would. I'm sure the money would be great, but also it would be an honor to compete against him. I mean, it's Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that match would have been insane.
I mean, even the guy who was annoying him on the plane must have been honored to get punched by him.
Yeah, that was the biggest fight in Mike Tyson's career recently, but this would be incredible. Yeah. But Lashley also told Fightful that his plans to continue his fighting career. Of course, he's had Bellator fights in the past. Yep. But Vince McMahon previously shot down the possibility of Bobby Lashley fighting in the UFC. His last MMA bout took place in October 2016, in which he scored a submission victory over Josh Appel, which he last fought when he was under contract with TNA/Impact. So it's not a surprise that Vince wants to protect the talent.
Yeah, Vince wants to protect the talent. But it's interesting when you look at it. I don't know, it's by no means the same thing, like being on a movie versus fighting an MMA match. But if you look back, like Vince's dad hated the idea of Hulk Hogan being a star in Rocky 3, did not like that. But Vince was like, no, this is great. It's just going to put more eyes on him. He's going to be a megastar. And then you've got Bobby Lashley sitting there going, hey, Vince, can I go do some MMA and get all this exposure for me, for the brand, for everything? Hell, I'll even wear a WWE
Yeah, I'll wear my gear.
Whatever you want. But, for him to kind of shoot that down, I get, as you said, there are safety concerns. But at the same time, I mean, come on.
Vince let Brock do it.
Yeah, Vince let Brock do it. Lashley's also a wrestling machine. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
I'd really like to see the fight Bobby Lashley Mike Tyson though. It'd be incredible to witness because Mike Tyson
fast Tyson
can
still is,
go.
Man. It's
he
scary.
Can still fight, and
scary.
Lashley, I'm sure would love to, as he said, step in the ring with Mike Tyson. And think of the exposure for WWE at that point.
Literally, I couldn't even. I mean, especially Mike Tyson's already in the Hall of Fame. They'd have had him on TV. They'd have done all sorts to promote that.
You could have done a feud with him.
You could have worked
WWE,
with the promoter.
He has been in AEW recently.
Ridiculous. Now, moving on, this touches on a bit of news we reported on a couple of weeks ago where Sasha Banks was set to appear at C2E2, and it was like, oh my god, how much is she charging for a fee? And it was like, that's a pretty standard fee. But now she's been joined by Naomi. So C2E2 have announced that both Naomi and Sasha Banks, not together but separately, will be appearing at the convention next month. Obviously, Sasha was already announced, but they're going to be appearing under their real names, Trinity Fatu and Mercedes Varnado, rather than their WWE gimmick names, which is just adding more fuel to the fire, poking those coals. Why not?
So that they can actually advertise them and not get destroyed for using their WWE names.
Of course, both are on indefinite suspension still from WWE, dating back to their walkout and all of the controversy that is growing out of that. And there are a few stories there that I'm sure we're going to hear in future that aren't quite public yet.
There's still hope that maybe this new leadership change could make them return to the company and try and mend that bridge back. We shall see.
It certainly feels like there are many, many, many layers going on here, and this is just kind of the outside of it. So It's going to be one to keep an eye on. But if you're going to C2E2, you can now both.
You can get to meet them. I think that's the start of August in Chicago. So make sure you're going to meet them. Say hello from us.
Yeah, make sure you say hello from us. They're huge fans.
Yeah.
But now moving back to WWE for a final bit of news here. When I talk about this, I just get excited. I get so excited. Triple H discussing the possibility of adding a certain somebody to creative. Now, during the recent WWE tryouts in Nashville ahead of SummerSlam, Triple H spoke about numerous topics, incling the possibility of adding Paul Heyman to WWE's creative team, something I think we've all wanted for about 20 years.
I mean, he got a brief turn as the head of Raw during the pandemic era, and then they went, nah, see you later, Paul. Bye.
Just give him the book. Just give him the book. But Heyman delivered a promo at the tryouts in Nashville, and that led him to answering some questions about Heyman's involvement with creative going forward. And Triple H said, I want ideas from everybody. I want thoughts from everybody. To me, this is inclusive. And when I say that goes for the talent, when I say it's going to take all of us, it's going to take all of us. And I want that. I want, like, Paul's one of the best promos in the history of the business. So who better when I asked him to be part of this, referring to the tryouts. He was thrilled, right? We both joke about the fountain of youth at these things. Paul always does this and rubs it all over me. It's the fountain of youth, right? Who better to come here and talk about that? Paul has the gift of the gab, always has, and who better to come here and motivate these kids? But the key line here is, I want ideas from everybody. When it was kind of
it was already
gently suggested to him, hey, Heyman.
Yeah, Heyman was kind of thought that, everyone's going, we want Heyman on the creative team, and it's been reported previously that Triple H and WWE is looking to produce more long-term storylines. We reported that yesterday, and that includes more collaborative storylines with talents, and this seems to sort of back up that report. That Triple H would want to hear from everyone, especially with folk like Paul Heyman, who's one of the creative geniuses in the world of wrestling.
Give him the book.
Excited.
Give him the book, and let's restart Heatwave and get Bubba out there, and let's get the TV14 era off to the
Imagine Paul Heyman
start.
in charge of TV14 Raw.
Imagine just giving Heyman SmackDown again.
Yeah, SmackDown 6. Give us that, please.
A new SmackDown 6.
Please, Triple H.
But we may be back a little bit later on. It depends if news breaks. But
and if not, we'll be back tonight because it's SummerSlam.
It's SummerSlam.
So you have live reactions tonight from Adam and Andrew. They'll be kicking off things going into the show and reacting to it live. I'll be tweeting along on Twitter, so you can react with me on Twitter on there.
We'll have what happened at. We'll have all of the regular post-show WTF, stuff. Everything like that. And of course, there'll be some news bright and early tomorrow morning after the show. So keep it with us. We'll keep you updated, but have a fantastic weekend. If you're over here in Europe, make sure you have a good sleep at about 8-9 o'clock for a few hours. You're gonna need it. This is gonna be a long old night, but it's hopefully gonna be worth it. All right, bye.
See you later. We're going live at 3 p.m. on Twitch to play through the entire WWE SummerSlam 2022 Premium Live Event card on WWE 2K22. So don't miss that, 3 p.m, twitch.tv/Cultaholic.